Good morning. Welcome to the January 17th regular meeting of the County Public Safety Coordinating Council. I am Colonel Robert Ure, the proxy for Sheriff Chad Chronister, and will very temporarily be the vice chair, which will change here shortly. I would like to call this meeting to order. Madam, can we take roll, please?
Sheriff Chad Chronister.
Colonel Robert Ure for Sheriff Chronister.
Lisa McLean. Here. Chief Judge Sabella.
Here.
Miss Susie Lopez.
Here.
Miss Deanna Obregon.
Here.
Colonel Bob Ura. Major Rodriguez is here for Colonel Ura. Chief Lee Burkaw.
Assistant Chief Kate for Chief Burkle.
Chief Chris Daniels. Mr. Nick Bates.
Here.
Mr. Robert Parkinson.
Here.
Mr. Van Ayers.
John Newman for Van Ayers.
Councilwoman Henderson. Senator Roussan. Miss Kelly Hammersley.
Present.
Mr. Patrick Barentine.
Present.
Miss Amy Ruiz. Mr. Mark Proctor.
Here.
Clerk Victor Christ.
Present.
Miss Yvette Lewis. Judge Jeff Rich.
Here.
Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. And Miss Cindy Grant.
Shelby Cooper for Cindy Grant.
You have quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the November 22nd, 2024 meeting, please?
Make the motion approved.
Second.
All right. Thank you. Motion by Mr. Bates and a second by Madam Lopez. Okay, so we have a lot of housekeeping to get done today, and I will muddle through the parliamentary proceedings, but first on the order really...
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I need a unanimous vote for the motion.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a unanimous vote for the motion of the minutes, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? I think you have a unanimous vote, ma'am. Thank you. Keep me on track. All right. So today's main order of business, besides any public speaking, is nominations of officers. As we all know, longtime chair, Ms. Holt, has retired. I can, in furtherance of Sheriff Chronister would obviously like to remain a member of the board, but is willing to step down as vice chair. So if it's proper, I would like to open up for nominations for new officers for chair and vice chair. Yes, sir.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Lopez for chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bates nominates State Attorney Susie Lopez for chair.
Second.
Okay. Any other nominations for chair? Hearing none, can we get a vote for chair for the County Public Safety Coordinating Council, chair for Ms. Susie Lopez? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, congratulations, Ms. Lopez.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to ask for nominations for vice chair. Yes, sir, Mr. Bates.
Sheriff Chronister for vice chair.
Okay. Hearing
Can you
that.
turn on your microphone, please, when you're speaking?
Thank you. Also, for the record, I'd like to say welcome Ms. Yvette Lewis to the meeting. On behalf of Sheriff Chronister, he would accept the nomination of vice chair. I would, on his behalf, I would like to also nominate, for obviously the discussion of the board and for vote, Chief Judge Sabella. If Chief Judge Sabella would like the position, Sheriff Chronister would step aside. So I guess, I'm not sure, ma'am, should we vote on the first nomination or move to the second?
If the judge or the chief, we can do a roll call to see who wants to vote for which one, or you can do a motion for each.
Okay. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. So can I get a vote for, and again, obviously the sheriff isn't here, but he did express to me last night and this morning that he would like to remain on the board, but would be willing to step down on his vice chairmanship.
Quick question, is Chief Judge Sabella willing to serve in the capacity as vice chair? Because I know his docket is usually full on Fridays, but is that something you can serve as?
Yes, I will accept the nomination and am more than willing to serve.
Please turn on your microphone.
I will accept the nomination and I am more than willing to serve.
Mr. Bates.
Yes, I'd like to withdraw my nomination for Sheriff Cronister.
Thank you, sir. Hearing the nomination for Chief Judge Sabella as vice chair, can I get a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Hearing none, congratulations, Chief Judge Sabella for vice chair. Now, this is going to be a bit troublesome moving forward on the subcommittees. It's on your packet. Because of the changes, we need to go quickly, if we can, through some of these. I'm hopeful will be kind of title held and with new elected officials in the room. But if we can go subcommittee by subcommittee just to affirm the committee chair and the committee vice chair, I think that would be proper. Okay, having heard that, the alterations to incarceration committee will go in that order. Mr. Bates, are you willing to continue to serve as the chair?
Yes.
Okay. The vice chair, Ms. McLean, was previously held by Ms. Holt. Were you willing to accept the vice chairmanship?
I am.
All right, thank you. Should we vote on each of the subcommittees, ma'am?
I would recommend it.
Okay. All in favor of Mr. Bates and Ms. McLean on chair and vice chair on the alternations to an incarceration committee? Can I get a in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Reentry committee. Sheriff will stay as the chair as the reentry committee if it's the will of the board. I don't see a vice chair for that committee. All in favor of Sheriff Chad Cronister remaining as chair of the reentry committee? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Long-Range Technology Planning Committee. Mr. Chris, that was previously held by your predecessor. Were you willing to take the chair?
Unless there's somebody else that wants it.
Okay. Anyone else interested in the chair for the Long-Range Technology Planning Committee? Hearing none, can I get a vote for Mr. Victor Chris to be the chair of the Long-Range Technology Planning Committee? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Facilities Committee. Sheriff Cronister will remain the committee chair of the Facilities Committee. The vice chair was your predecessor, Mr. Chris. Would you be willing to be vice chair of the Facilities Committee?
Unless somebody else wants it.
Please turn on your microphone.
I'm willing to do it unless somebody else wants to do it.
Okay. Anyone willing to volunteer to be vice chair on the Facilities Committee?
I'd be glad to do that. I've been on the committee for years, so I'll save Victor a lot of work.
Okay. All right. So Sheriff Cronister and Mr. Proctor for chairman and vice chair for the Facilities Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Domestic Violence Committee chair is Mr. Robert Parkinson. Are you willing to continue, sir?
Yes, I am.
Major Raschke is the vice chair, is retired. I'd like to nominate Major Robert Rodriguez from the Sheriff's Office. Any others that would be vice chair? Okay. Hearing none, committee chair Robert Parkinson, vice chair Robert Rodriguez on the Domestic Violence Committee. Thank you. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. School Safety Planning Committee. Mr. Van Ayers is to continue? Yes. Thank you. Okay. All in favor of the School Safety Planning Committee Chair of Mr. Van Ayers to continue? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Burn Grant Subcommittee. Judge Rich, you are listed as the chair. Would you like to continue, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Vice chair was held by your predecessor, Ms. McLean. Would you be willing to be vice chair?
I am.
Okay. All in favor of committee chair Judge Rich and vice chair Ms. McLean for the JAG Grant Committee? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Grant Planning Council, Chair Judge Sabella, you willing to continue as the chair?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Gina Justice?
She couldn't be here today, but she's willing to continue as the vice chair.
Okay. All in favor of the chair and vice chair for the Grant Planning Commission or council to remain the same? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I believe that handles the subcommittee list. Thank you very much for your patience. Any other old business that needs to be addressed by the board? Okay. New business, I think we took care of number 1. Okay. And then we have a couple of presentations, I think, today. Yes, sir?
We do. In our November meeting, our former chair asked that we coordinate a presentation from Operation New Hope, who provides the Ready for Work program. Last legislative session, they received a legislative appropriation to expand their model from Jacksonville-Duval area into Central Florida. They've subsequently began to expand into, I believe it's Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Orlando. And they provide comprehensive reentry services for individuals coming back with a focus on meaningful employment. So today we have Natasha Goodley from Operation New Hope to do a presentation and tell us where they're at on that and if they need any assistance linking up with our justice system partners.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Goodley.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I bring you greetings. I'm the Regional Director for Operation New Hope. Our CEO, Reggie Fullwood, was supposed to be here, but unfortunately he has the flu, so hopefully he'll have an opportunity to meet the rest of you at a later date. I do have a presentation. Is it set up that I can do it? Okay.
Just use the arrows.
Okay, thank you. So let's put this in presentation mode. So what fraction of the U.S. adult working age population has a criminal record? 1 in 3. As many Americans have criminal records as college diplomas. The problem, people returning from incarceration face a multitude of barriers. Employment, transportation, and housing are 3 of the greatest obstacles. Without adequate access to any of these 3 essentials, people are less connected to their communities and therefore far more likely to reoffend and return to incarceration. The mission and vision of Operation New Hope, we provide support, life, and job skills training for people with a history of involvement with the criminal justice system and places them in employment that offers a sustainable quality of life. And the vision Operation New Hope offers, we work to build a stronger community by creating opportunities to realize second chances and reduce recidivism. At least 90% of all state prisoners will be released, with about 700,000 people returning home from jail and prison every year. Of those returning home from incarceration, 1 in every 3 will likely return within the first 3 years of their release. So this is why we do what we do. Upon release from a state prison, a returning citizen has minimal support and a lot of barriers. Fines and fees are due in a very short amount of time, which causes pressure to immediately find employment. We work with groups like Reform that are striving to end the use of unfair fines and fees in Florida. Transitional housing is scarce and expensive. Transportation support is critical to get to appointments or job interviews. And returning citizens are often relegated to the most undesirable jobs. We work with employers, government licensing authorities, and elected officials to advocate for our clients. And we use the Ready for Work program, which is designed to address many of these barriers within a centralized supportive process. Housing first is critical. Access to safe and stable housing has shown to increase access to healthcare services, including addiction and mental health treatment, the likelihood of securing a job, and access to educational programs. Severe homelessness and housing insecurity destabilizes the entire reentry process. ONH works in 50 Florida prisons. So during pre-release interviews, 75% of our clients stated having a place to live would be a key factor in staying out of trouble with the law. 70% of our clients need help with housing when leaving prison or jail. Research shows that stable housing is the foundation that makes a person's transition from incarceration back into the community successful. They're more likely to find and keep employment, rebuild support and relationships within their community, and reestablish healthy bonds. So the solution, we have the Ready for Release program, our Ready for Work program, and our Ready for Success program. Ready for Release, we work in collaboration with the Department of Corrections, where we successfully deliver our Ready for Release program at over 50 jails and prisons throughout Florida now. Our dedicated pre-release team helps people successfully transition back into their communities with individualized plans that ensure adequate housing, transportation, and job training for returning citizens. We provide behind-the-walls training at select facilities, and our long-term goal is to create a blueprint for successful reentry for every person released in Florida. Our Ready for Work program is implementing a comprehensive approach where we use case management, mental health counseling, supportive services, skills training, and job placement assistance. Our Ready for Work program is built to ensure that each client succeeds. Participants are required to remain drug-free and attend a comprehensive job training program featuring personal and professional development. Each client's paired with a licensed mental health counselor, case manager, and job coach to provide guidance and support, leading to job placement with targeted employment partners. We also offer career and technical training courses that provide our clients with a competitive edge that leads to living wage employment in our competitive job market. Those two are our largest programs. We also offer Ready for Success, which is very much like the Ready for Work program, but a client is able to do that virtually. So if someone doesn't have the means of coming back and forth, or maybe they live too far away, or they have a job but they're underemployed, they're able to do our Ready for Success module and access all of our incentives that we provide the rest of our clients. And then breaking the cycle. To break the cycle of generational incarceration and reconnect clients with their families, we host parenting and family reunification workshops featuring subject matter experts. Our programs support continued growth as moms and dads transition home. We also deliver the National Fatherhood Initiative Inside Out Dads program with prisons to help incarcerated fathers become better dads. So we enjoy bipartisan support. Our work has been praised by Presidents Clinton, Bush, Obama, and the Trump administration as well, federal, state, and local representatives, law enforcement, and business leaders. As you can see, we have Vice President Mike Pence quote, as well as President Barack Obama's. So why did we expand to Tampa Bay? 1,500 returning citizens are released to Hillsborough County annually. Over 3,500 returning citizens are released to Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Polk counties annually from state prisons. So the need is great. The #1 county for returned citizens is Hillsborough. The #2 is Duval, and the #3 is Pinellas. So Florida has the 3rd largest incarcerated population in the U.S., and just as I said earlier, 95% of all state prisoners will be released. The black dots represent where we have Ready for Work programs currently, and the red dots are our Ready for Release in the prisons and jails that we work with and we serve right now. The goal is to expand across the state of Florida and all of the major media markets to better assist with the transition of returned citizens. So the goal, we're in Jacksonville right now. That's our headquarters. We've been around for over 25 years there. Second, we opened in Central Florida, which is our Orlando area office. We have an office in Space Coast. And July of last year, we opened in Tampa and St. Petersburg. The goal is to next open in Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, Fort Myers in Southwest Florida, Tallahassee, and Pensacola. So these are the returned citizens by county. This is from the Department of Corrections data for 2020. As you can see, again, Hillsborough, number 1, Duval, number 2, Pinellas, number 3, Polk, number 4. So just within our area, we have the top 3 of the four returned counties that are coming to Florida, which is why there was such a need to come here. Previously, we worked with A. Brown Ministries. We actually funded their program for the Ready for Work program here. We still support A. Brown Ministries, of course, not financially, but we support the efforts that they do. A. Brown Ministries focuses on about 100 clients a year, and we worked with them to see if they wanted to expand to accept more, but that's where they were comfortable. So we also opened, because the need is so great in this area that we're not stepping on each other's toes. There's so many returned citizens in the area. So what we do works. $28,298 is the annual cost to house one inmate. Again, over 600,000 people are released from Florida's jails and prisons every year. So the Florida Department of Corrections recidivism rate is 25.7%. Operation New Hope's recidivism rate for the same cohort is 8.64%. We've provided life-changing services to more than 15,000 people impacted by the criminal justice system since 1999. Our Ready for Work program is a free program after release that provides formerly incarcerated individuals with reentry assistance, job training and placement, as well as financial support. We provide transitional housing, bus passes, individualized plans for success, career development, resume writing, counseling services, vocational training, job connections, as well as stipends. As you see at the bottom, our first step in the process is intake. A client comes to us whether they're already incarcerated or they've been released and they are a walk-in. We take them through intake. We are a drug-free program, and we're a drug-free program because we are a Ready for Work program. So we have to ensure that our clients are not actively using. They come in, they go through intake. We do biopsychosocials on every individual that comes in to make certain that this person is also mentally ready for work. If they need to be medicated, we work to get them the medication they need. And we continue the mental health services if they are agreeable. Once they go through intake and they're accepted into the program, we then have orientation for them where we go over the expectations of what we look for them in the program, what their participation looks like. If they continue through and they go through our career development classes, they receive a stipend each week. So we give them a $100 stipend for coming to class. We also feed them a hot lunch every day while they're in class. That's also the time where they work with their case manager, and as well as the mental health therapist and the job coach. So the case manager orders all vital documents that the client might need in order to get services, to find housing, and of course, eventually to find a job. So we order all vital documents. We're working to try to help with getting driver license because a lot of entities require driver license in order to be hired. And so we work to try to find out if it's just suspended from fines or they've been incarcerated so long that that's why they've lost their license, and to help them try to retrieve it. We also sign them up for assistance. We get them health insurance. Health insurance is important because for many of them, they need outside mental health services, although we do have mental health therapists on site. For some of the heavier mental illnesses, we need to connect them with someone on the outside so that they can work through it. So we help every one of our clients get insurance. Through the insurance, they're able to get cell phones. So now they have access to the internet now through their cell phones. And of course, all of this is free. The third week of our career development are computer classes. So we give them 1 week of computer training because for many of our clients, they've never really worked on a computer. Some of them have never had a computer or seen one. And so catching them up during that period is important because almost all job applications now are on the computer. So helping them get registered with LinkedIn, we create LinkedIn profiles, take their photos, everything, so that we can help remove that stigma. After 3 weeks of these classes, they graduate. Each week, each week they do receive a stipend, and they also have the opportunity to become Student of the Week and get additional stipends so that they can earn money during the program. Once they graduate, they receive a stipend for graduating, and then they go to our completers class. Each Monday, if you're not employed, you come back to completers class where we help motivate you, coach you, which job interviews do you have coming up, and it gives them an opportunity to meet with their job coach, get on the computer, apply for positions. If they're looking to get right into the workforce, we try to do that. Our goal has been $16 an hour. We are of course increasing that, but our goal for Tampa St. Pete right now, we are at about $18.34 an hour for the median wage that we are earning our clients. So if they need to get to work right away, we put them to work. If they're going to need some type of vocational training in order to get a better job, we also have the opportunity to do that. We have a set aside $3,000 that we can put towards vocational training for any client that comes through our program. We also work with some of the colleges and universities through the homeless fee exemption, which allows some of our clients to attend college for free. And then with the funds that we have, we can assist with any additional assistance they may have. And if they want to go to a vocational training, receive it, and also work, we can do it at the same time. Like many of our clients are doing forklift training, certification, so that they can get better jobs in warehouses. Whatever they're looking for, we try to place them in those certain industries. And again, we're at $18.34 for the Tampa Bay area for the median wage in our job placement. And we keep them for 1 year. So although they go through the program in those 3 weeks, they stay connected to Operation New Hope for a year, where we can monitor what they're doing, make certain they're on the right track, and of course, they still have access to our mental health services. So our core program, Ready for Work, provides case management, supportive services, job training, and job placement assistance. I left one thing out. We also provide transportation because we give them 3 months of bus passes, and we provide housing for 3 months. So we pay for 3 months of transitional housing as well as 3 months of bus passes. And so the goal is after the 3 weeks of the classes of them attending, if they get right into the vocational training and job placement, they'll have an opportunity to be employed and have at least about 2 months where they don't have to worry about transportation or housing or food assistance, because we do help them get SNAP benefits, which will give them the funds to save up. So at the end of the 3 months, they have the ability to then take over their transitional house payments. And the average in Tampa is probably $850 per bed. So they have the opportunity to take over that, or they have the opportunity to find their own place. So we try to do it the sooner the better so that they have plenty of time to save. And we also offer financial literacy classes. Right now, those are being taught through Fifth Third Bank, where we also are helping them set up bank accounts so that they can save their money. Our Ready for Work focuses on holistic client care customized through a comprehensive risk assessment process. And the main goal of Ready for Work is to place clients in jobs that offer a sustainable living wage and reduce recidivism. Why we're pushing for such a high wage amount is so that they have the living wage. We all know what it costs now in Hillsborough County to live, to rent. And so the idea is we're finding them career level jobs or jobs that have upward mobility so that they have a solid foundation research has shown have establishing that solid foundation drastically reduces recidivism. So once accepted into our free program, again, each client's partnered with a case manager, mental health counselor, and job coach to help overcome the common barriers faced upon reentry. Again, that's transitional housing, bus passes, individualized plans for success, career development, resume writing, counseling services, vocational training, as well as job connections. And partnerships are key. These are just a few of the partnerships that we have established in the area. And we're working with over 20-plus transitional housing providers. We do not offer our own housing. We don't have a place for housing. So what we do is partner with existing transitional properties, and we pay the transitional home for our clients staying there. And of course, we look for some of the better ones, that the homes that are kind of out of areas that might be more likely to lead to substance abuse or recidivism. You know, we had one, for instance, we had one house where it's on Nebraska, and unfortunately, there's a lot of drug activity in that area. So if we have a client who is struggling with substance abuse and addiction, we are not going to place that client at that transitional house because it's more likely that they will relapse. And if any of our clients relapse, we do work with treatment centers to get them in, to try to help them as best we can. And once they get clean, they absolutely can come back into the program. So this is from one of our clients in Jacksonville. I never had a job, a bank account, a driver's license. I was only 17 when I went away, and I didn't know how to be an adult. While enrolled in the Ready for Work program, I was able to learn the skills I needed. Our impact so far, we actually started we opened in Tampa and St. Pete the very last week of July 2024. And in that short period of time, Tampa, we've already impacted 120 clients, and in St. Pete, 90 clients. So our goal, of course, is to increase that. We accept new clients weekly. Typically, we get about 8 clients a week. We try to keep it to a manageable amount as we slowly grow. We're working now with, of course, the Department of Corrections and the prisons, but we now also are working with the Hillsborough County Jail, and we are in the process of working with Pinellas County Jail. We also work with Pinellas County Shelter, Safe Harbor, and we accept clients. The case managers there refer clients to us. As they refer clients, we also go out and do presentations at the jail. Just last month, I presented at the jail at one of their graduations programs here in Hillsborough County, and several of the clients signed up. So the idea is to try to catch them wherever we can to bring them into the program. If they're pre-release, we really, there's no handoff. They literally get on the bus from the prison, come to the Marion Transit Center, and the transitional house is waiting for them at the bus stop. So they literally pick them up and take them to the home. Jail's a little different. So when they're released from jail, they have to physically come to us. We're working in the process of trying to see if we can get the transitional houses to make that connection prior to being released from jail, so that we can make it a more smoother transition. Because research has shown, unfortunately, if they have an opportunity to go home or for the weekend or, attend a party for being released, they're likely to use or more likely to delay entering the program. Again, I'm Natasha Goodley. I'm the regional director for Tampa Bay. That includes Tampa and St. Pete. This is my contact information. I also have a few cards for anyone who might be interested, but if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to assist. And I did see our VP of programs come in, Alethea Landry, so she's here as well and can assist with questions. Yes, sir.
A couple of years ago, that Julie Holt helped put on a criminal justice summit, and part of that was a reentry simulator. And I participated in that. Several of the judges participated in that. And it was amazing and fascinating, and to see the frustrations you go through. You act as if you were just released and you're given certain duties, and it was virtually impossible to perform all those. So the service that you offer is extremely valuable. And anybody that hasn't been through one of these simulator programs, I encourage it, because it really gives you it's a real eye-opening experience.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Couple comments. This council has had some involvement on this issue in the past across numerous programs, including Ready for Work. About 10 years ago, Kevin Gay, your former executive director, came down, talked to a lot of us, and kind of helped sell the model of Ready for Work, which subsequently was executed by A. Brown Ministries, and they've done a wonderful job. I believe their program is now called Inspire.
Yes.
And they continue to do a good job. So I guess my first question is, how do you delineate between the folks that are being referred to A. Brown versus ONH, one? Two, we know the target population that A. Brown is accepting at this juncture. My question to you is, based on your current contracts with the state, are you accepting all felonies? Are you accepting just felonies that are coming out of DOC? Are you accepting felonies that are also on DOC community probation? And are you accepting felonies that are sentenced to jail time and don't go to a DOC institution?
So we're accepting pretty much all of those. The only charge that we do not accept are individuals that are registered sex offenders. And that is because it's very difficult, unfortunately, to find employment for registered sex offenders. And again, we are a Ready for Work program. For any other charges, if it's a habitual, an individual with multiple violent offenses, we do a staffing. So we look at it on a case-by-case basis to analyze the charges, what the client was actually convicted of. We go through the court records and documents to see if this is an individual that, one, we feel can sit through the program, definitely is ready for work, is looking for a change, but also to analyze if the person might need anger management, anything like that, where we can recommend, hey, we think you might need to attend anger management, and once you go through that, you can enter the program, or we'll work with you even while doing it. But we don't have any other charges that we do not accept. We have an individual, a female, who was incarcerated for 37 years for murder, and we agreed to accept her in the program because she committed the murder as a teenager and now is like 55 years old and has, of course, totally changed and did the anger management, did everything else, and now we have her gainfully employed within the city of Tampa. So we are open to any of those charges. As far as how do we differentiate between A. Brown, I don't think there is a differentiate. We don't need to. Like, what they do and what we do is very similar, as I stated, but we have such a need, it doesn't take from one to the other. Trust me when I say we're not fighting over clients. There's more than enough individuals in the area that are being released. So if anything, it's just adding an additional service to allow those individuals to have an option to get serviced.
And one follow-up question. Sheriff Chronister has worked diligently over the last couple of years to build in vocational programming at our jail. Some pretty innovative stuff, welding, automotive, et cetera. I think he's got like 7 programs, something along those lines, give or take.
340.
So we have folks being released from jail who have certifications that they didn't have when they went in. If they're being linked to ONH, what are you guys doing to make sure that those certifications that the sheriff's office have helped them get are resulting in actual employment in those fields? So welding, automotive, examples like that.
So for those individuals that are already coming with their certifications, if there's anything additional that they might need, we assist with that. But if there's nothing else they need, we can use some of our funds to assist with the accessories they'll need. You need some steel-toe boots, we'll purchase those. You need non-slip resistant shoes, we'll purchase those. You need a uniform, we'll get that for you in the process of also getting you employed. So we have seen several individuals coming from jail with those certifications, and it is amazing. When we do go into the jails, one of the things we're stressing to the current inmates is take advantage of those programs, because it's actually a lot easier to take them in jail than once you get out. We've got to make certain that we have the budget and the financing and everything else, and working with like HCC with the homeless fee exemption. So not to say that it can't happen, but you have a captive audience. So if you're able to take advantage, then absolutely.
And the sheriff and the colonel are often looking at ways to expand the vocational programming that they provide in the jail. Based on your assessment thus far, I know you've only been here 7 months, give or take. Are you seeing any unmet needs for additional vocational training that might be developed in the jail that would help these returning citizens get jobs quicker, better, higher paying?
I'll tell you the one that everyone wants, and I don't know if it's something that can be offered in the jail, but it's CDL. Everyone wants the CDL. And the CDL is kind of challenging. I'm working with Dr. Ken Ray, the president of HCC now, and we're trying to grasp how we can do it with the homeless fee exemption. So that's a process. Most of the programs are over $3,000, which would eliminate us from being able to pay for them. And then comes the license part of it. If they don't have a driver's license, if we're trying to help them get the driver's license back. And not all of it is for driving like 18-wheeler trucks. We have some individuals who would like to drive bus, like for Hart or other places. But that's the biggest program that I'm seeing that people want, and we're struggling to wrap around how we can effectively offer it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Obviously, the driving part's a bit problematic while in jail.
Right.
But there are some simulators we've looked at and things like that, so maybe we can, if we can get some simulator type stuff and things, would at least get them a head start. So all that is on the table, as Mr. Parkinson said. The sheriff and myself were willing and want to be a great partner towards the transition.
If you all offered a part of the program where the simulation and the book part of it was done, it potentially might reduce what they needed when they're released, so that our $3,000 would then be able to cover the actual part of them getting in the truck and driving. So we probably definitely should talk. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have several questions. First of all, you touched a little bit on the housing. So from what I know, a lot of these transitional housing, they're in communities that are really not safe, and the housing are falling down, dilapidated. Slumlords, these people are paying, you said $850 per bed to live in these places. I really would like for y'all to explore your housing and getting these up to par, because if they come out of jail and then they go to these houses and then it doesn't look right, and the way that they're living is really substandard. So also—
If I could just respond to that?
Sure.
None of our housing is like that. We go in, before we accept a client, we go through, we look at the home, we take pictures of the home, we do visits with the home, and we constantly check through for our homes. None of our homes are, I won't say none, because we do work with one organization that has some homes. Like I said, they have a home in Nebraska, but all of our homes are located in residential areas and communities. There are individuals who found a house and decided to rent it, and now they offer transitional, or they may have owned the home. But I welcome you to come by the office. We can give you the address of every last one of our homes. None of our homes are like that. That is one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is placing our clients in safe conditions and making certain that we keep the landlords or the owners of the home, we hold them accountable to keeping the homes up, which is why we do random visits.
Thank you, because trust but verify. Because our organization, the NAACP, we do get the calls about the living conditions. Also, it sounds like to me, when someone is released, you don't take everybody. You pick and choose who you want to work with or who you desire to work with. So I definitely have some concerns with that because there is a need for what you're doing, but there is a need for everyone to be serviced. And picking and choosing who you work with because you're exploiting them to get the numbers so you can show the progress and how you're servicing and the successes. But what about those who really need? Because again, we constantly get the calls, where do I go? What do I do? You said you picked them up from the transit station. We're getting calls where people are not getting the help and the services. So there is definitely a disconnect. And
Well, if I can respond to that. You might be getting the calls, but they're not from regarding Operation New Hope. They're not the ones that we're accepting. Yes, you can say we pick and choose, but we pick and choose because we don't accept registered sex offenders. But anyone that comes through our program, applies, and they meet our criteria, they're accepted. And then when I say meeting the criteria, you have to be drug-free. You have to be willing to attend the class Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3, on Fridays, 9 to 1. You have to be willing to do that, and you have to be willing and open to work. If you meet those requirements, you're entered into the program. So it's not a situation of, do we want to take this or do we not? When we have the staffing, that is only for habitual violent offenders, because we have to also protect all the other individuals that we have in our program. We also have to protect our staff. So we want to make certain that if someone is a habitual violent offender, they have anger management issues, we want to make certain that they get that help before we then bring them on, because not only that, but we're ready for work. So if you have anger management issues and you're violent, you're technically not ready for work. You need to have some treatment first so that we then can place you in a job.
I definitely understand that, but there are some that don't even have that and still can't get it.
Don't have what?
Like anger management. And I know what some of
It's
these
not anyone that
programs-
has not been accepted to Operation New
Well, I
Hope.
would like to really look into your program. Thank you. So we'll get together afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So just a quick comment on Ms. Lewis's statement.
Bag free.
In terms of, it is a big challenge with our returning citizens getting access to safe and clean housing. Sheriff Cronister's team actually chairs a quarterly meeting of the Hillsborough Reentry Center, which includes a lot of providers of reentry services. And when you look at the overall number of individuals coming back from DOC, you know, on the institution side, it tends to vacillate between 1,500 and 2,000 a year. The clients that ONH and A. Brown are serving, that constitutes about 8 to 10% of the total number of folks coming back. There's a lot of folks that go to faith-based organizations. There's folks that go to little mom and pop operations, to smaller nonprofits. And not all of them, most of them don't have a contract with Department of Corrections, don't have specific metrics and outcomes that they have to achieve, like quality of services, quality of placements. They don't have those things. Those issues are discussed at the Sheriff's Office regular meeting, and it is a continuing challenge. We have folks that have the best interests sometimes of the returning citizens, but the services that are providing just don't meet what you or I would deem appropriate. So that's a challenge. And then we also have some bad actors that use individuals that, you know, don't have other options or choices, and they're forced to go to some of these halfway homes, or unfortunately sometimes they end up homeless, and you know, pose a challenge for placement from the homeless community. So you're absolutely right. I would suggest, Ms. Lewis, that if you have the occasion to visit one of the Sheriff's Office reentry meetings, these issues are kind of discussed in earnest. And of course, the sheriff is also a committee chair of a committee that discusses these issues too. But go to that meeting, you know, listen to some of the issues that we're having, and I'm guessing a lot of those folks are the folks that you're getting the calls on you know, the quality of their care, inability to link to vocational services. it is an ongoing issue, and the sheriff's office basically tries to chunk those problems down into smaller pieces so that we can handle them. And also, you know, the Reentry Center is really good at saying, okay, this is your current situation, we've assessed it, and you need to go to A. Brown Ministries, or you need to go to ONH. You know, sheriff's office doesn't usually refer folks to programs that don't meet their standards, but the reality is once folks leave the Reentry Center, they're free to go where they want to go, and that also poses some challenges. One of the things that the Reentry Center is really good at is soft engagement. A lot of times when that bus drops off the individuals coming back from DOC institutions, they don't want to have anything to do with the criminal justice system. And even though the staff over at the Reentry Center are wearing polos and khakis, they still see them as part of the system. And one of the things the sheriff's office staff are really good about doing is making sure that they have their cards and their information and helping them understand that even if you don't want our help now and you think you don't need it, call us if things get bad. But the reality is some folks just continue to avoid asking for assistance. And some of those are the folks you probably get calls on. And again, the individual problem solving is a big part of what the Sheriff's Office Reentry Center does.
Thank you, Ms. Goodley. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Thank you for your partnership.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Hall from the Department of Juvenile Justice.
That's Secretary Eric Hall.
Secretary Hall.
Good morning. Do we know, is the PowerPoint on here, do you know? Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll work without it. So I do have some handouts that I will pass out. So first and foremost, let me start by saying, again, my name is Eric Hall, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the Secretary at the Department of Juvenile Justice. It's always great to come back to my home community where I can remember starting my career with juvenile justice almost 3 decades ago. I used to work while in college at USF at what was then called the Tampa Marine Institute. I had my first teaching job over at Chamberlain High School, and again, 3-time graduate at USF, so go Bulls. It is great to be here, and really want to talk about some exciting updates that we have from the department, and this one's very specific to this community. As I mentioned, when I started with juvenile justice, doing my work with Tampa Marine Institute, back then we had the current detention center still in place back then. Back then it was called W.T. Edwards, and looking at where we're at now, we know we're at a point where we need to make some changes. We need to build a new facility. And so just to give you a little bit more about my background, before I jump into the facility itself, you know, while I started my career here as an educator, working at the intersection of juvenile justice and education, spent many, many years working not only in Florida, but across the country with about 9 different states, then ended up serving in North Carolina, where I had served as the Deputy State Superintendent for Education, and then had the opportunity to come back home to Florida in 2019, where I served initially as the first Senior Chancellor here at the Department of Education, where I was responsible for early learning in our state, our K-12 public school system, our state colleges, career and adult and technical education, other program areas, including the Office of Safe Schools. So it's always good to see my partners with Hillsborough County and in school safety. And it was a true honor when I got the call. I guess someone had heard about my background in juvenile justice and was asked to serve as that 9th secretary at the department. So I've been in this role just about 3 years. And I can tell you, coming into the position, there were some immediate things that we had to address. Part of it was our workforce. Like many agencies and challenges, we had some workforce hurdles that we had to work on, and worked immediately with the legislature, and we were fortunate to have the support of the governor and the legislature to be able to increase things like our salaries for our detention officers, our probation officers, cut our vacancy rates down significantly. Doesn't mean we fully arrived, but I can tell you that we have stabilized our workforce in many cases, and that was only the first thing we had to do. The other thing we had to do when I came in, I did a statewide tour, went to every single facility that we have here in the state, our 21 detention centers, our 40 residential facilities, visited with all of our circuits and our probation offices. We have over 600 buildings in our portfolio here in the state with DJJ. The vast majority of those are office areas for like probation and so on. But the reality is, between 21 detention centers and nearly 40 residential programs, we had a little bit of an aging infrastructure. We had facilities that were getting old. We had to make some significant changes. And by the second session, after we addressed the workforce needs and be able to address compensation, we had to start looking at what we were going to do to go and really work intentionally on trying to update our facilities. So we were fortunate that 2 years ago, the first step was to do site planning. We received a little over $5 million to do site planning for what I saw as our priority for first 3 detention centers, which Hillsborough was our first one, Broward was our second, Palm Beach was our third. Last legislative session, we included in our LBR the funding to build a new detention center in Hillsborough. Governor included that and supported that in his recommended budget, and it was approved and supported by the legislature. And so you all will be getting an invitation to our groundbreaking on February 25th, where we will be breaking ground on starting construction for the new Hillsborough Juvenile Detention Center here in this community. So we're excited about that. I was hoping to have some slides, and I apologize that we can't have those up, but we did have some handouts. And I'll talk you through a little bit the renderings that we have. We partnered with Department of Management Services, who is working with a architect and a contractor. And so what you have in front of you are some of the initial designs that we hope to finalize here in the next 30 to 60 days with our floor plan and the things that we will be doing to ensure that we not only have a new facility, but we want it to be a facility that is built on, current research, things that are emerging trends, things that we know are important to ensuring the safety, security, and the health and welfare of our children, but at the same time, something that our staff and our team and this community can be proud of. And we're excited about that. So the renderings that you have in front of you, the first one is the one that I'm hoping that we will be able to see to fruition. Just know that colors could change, materials could change a little bit, but the other thing that we are doing intentionally with this particular center is making sure that it is also rated for up to a Cat 5 storm. We want to make sure that we have a facility that we don't have to worry about moving kids out of the facility if we have a storm that comes into this area. I will tell you the site location for this facility will be over actually off of Falkenberg, so it will not be built in the same location that it is now. We have an area over there where we have 3 residential facilities, and it will be built on that property in close proximity to those existing programs. But this first rendering gives you an idea of what we're hoping to achieve. The floor plan remains the same regardless of the 2 pictures that you see, the first 2 items or the 2 slides that are here. The first one, of course, we're going to have to price that out and see if it falls within the scope of the budget. The first rendering was really the second one, the second page, which is nice. I mean, again, it's a nice, but I think if we look at the first one, there's something to be said about the entry, and you think about how you're welcoming families and other visitors to come in. There's something about that gives it a nice, modern, clean look that I think, again, we can all be proud of. So those are the two outside renderings. If you take a look at the third page, this gives you a little bit of an aerial view of what it will look like. This facility is going to be somewhere between 35 and 40,000 square feet. It will accommodate up to 90 youth. And there's a couple things that we've also included in this. One is going to be an indoor recreation area where we'll have at least an indoor half-court gym. We're working to make that a full court, and again, we're working on final budgeting for that. And there will be 6 mods, and each of those mods would accommodate up to 16 youth in each of those areas. With classrooms interior right now, we have a great partnership, obviously, with Hillsborough County Public Schools. They work with us to make sure we have additional classroom space at our current facility with portables. The goal here is to have classrooms inside the facility built into the infrastructure so we don't have to have any additional external buildings other than what's contained inside the setting. If you look at the last page, you'll see this is a little bit more of the floor plan. What we can do is, like I said, there was a PowerPoint that was put together. We will make sure that everybody can get a copy of that so that if you want to zoom in, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't bring my reading glasses with me. But if you look on the slide or this particular page, you'll get an idea about the floor plan itself, how everything is kind of built along a single corridor. We're working very hard too. We want to have a lot of natural light that comes into the facility. We want it to be bright. We want it to be airy. Actually took a tour with my team. A few of us went up to Georgia where they built a facility about 5 years ago using the same architects and designers to kind of get an idea of what they built there and see what things we can learn from their experience over the last 5 years that continues to build on ensuring that, again, this is not just a facility that looks great, feels great, but can also withstand the test of time and make sure that we can, again, address those things that are important to serving our kids. I, again, didn't come with a long presentation. I just wanted to be able to come to all of you, talk about the excitement that we think is ahead and something that, candidly, is long overdue. And again, this will be the first center in our state that we have probably built in well over 25 years. And it's time. And so, again, we're excited about that. Again, we're looking forward to partnering with all of you and getting you an invitation to come and join us for the groundbreaking. Like I said, at this point in time, it's scheduled for February 25th. So with that, I will pause for any questions or anything from me.
Go, sir.
Great presentation, very easy to follow. A few questions. You touched on a couple of the areas that I had some concerns on when you said it was going to be Cat 5 designed. So you're going to be designing to Miami standards. To follow up on that, looking at the elevation, the area where you plan to put it, are you 40 feet above medium high tide?
Was that a question or a statement? I'm sorry, sir.
Question.
Okay. So I can tell you that they've taken all that into consideration based on the zone and everything, and they will be building it to a certain level, so it will be elevated slightly. Not an architect, but that was something we talked about in our initial conversation when they went through the area, the elevation. I think they said anywhere between 10 and 12 inches high is where they're going to have to build the foundation from.
Okay, because in our particular area here, a Cat 5 hurricane is going to be pushing a lot of water. And, you know, to build it to hold up to the wind standards, one thing, but if we get flooded out, that's another. The other is are you going to make sure that it has independent fuel source like gas for the run the generators? Because one of the issues we've had in the past is being able to get fuel to run generators where we had them.
So what I would say, and sometimes I don't know whether we're following like Robert's rules and going back to the chair, so my apologies. It's what happens when you do a lot of committee presentations in Tallahassee. What I'll say is this, is that every one of our facilities comes with a full standing generator and fuel, and we have accommodations and arrangements where we don't have those fuel centers directly on site, but we have multiple sites there on that same campus, and we ensure that that's in place. And so this one would have a new generator and everything that would accommodate.
All right. I agree with you. I like the first elevation the best. I hope you achieve it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Ms. Lewis?
Okay. This is just a comment. First of all, thank you. There's a great need for this facility because the other one that we have now is god-awful horrible. I mean, really. But I also agree, this first rendering is very beautiful and very welcoming. I see the light. The second one, it really looks like a prison camp that the slave masters used to have. Especially, it reminds you of the Dozier Boys' home. I mean, it's just, yeah. Let's fight for the first one. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Parks?
Couple comments. Thank you, Secretary Hall. Great presentation. I also agree with the first one, if you're taking a vote. I'm also one of those that has advocated vigorously for replacement or significant structural improvements to our current facility. If I was a real estate agent, I would say that it's a rustic facility with lots of character. Many members here, including Ms. Lopez's staff, Ms. McLean's staff, have actually put sweat equity into the current facility, painting parties, cleanup parties, and the like, to keep the standards up. You know, putting together a facility like this, those things are most likely not going to be needed, and we appreciate that. Also, for some of the diversion services that we provide, you know, having kids in a safe and clean environment is going to help them understand that we're about rehabilitation at DJJ and in the community. Again, absolutely wonderful. And I also want to thank you for advocating in Tallahassee for Hillsborough to get the first new facility. I don't know if it's because you're from here or that our facility is just in greatest need across the state. We do appreciate you putting us first, so thank you for that.
So I can definitely always do my best to advocate for Hillsborough County, my old home. I have a responsibility to all kids in our state, so, but this was definitely one when we prioritized, this was our greatest need. And we're going to continue to advocate because, again, we have a portfolio of facilities around the state that we've got to continue to do more, so.
And one thing just to dovetail, we have some new PSCC members that were recently elected. And some of them might be wondering, why are we hearing DJJ and juvenile justice issues here in the PSCC where they've traditionally been heard in the JJ cab? And Chief Hammersley has kept this group advised of certain legislative changes that happened last year that now shifts some of the responsibilities that used to lie with the Juvenile Justice Circuit Advisory Boards onto the Public Safety Coordinating Council. And one of those is joint collaboration on plans that impact juvenile justice. So that's why he's here. That's why we're now going to have a little bit deeper involvement than we've had on juvenile justice issues.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And again, as 28-year law enforcement, nostalgia with W.T. Edwards is fine, but we can go ahead and move on. Yes, Mr. Bates, sorry.
Please turn on your microphone.
How many beds are you going to have in this facility?
So it's going to be a total, you'll see on that diagram, by the way, it shows 4 mods. There's 2 more mods that will be down. There's like a little patterned area.
there's
So it's going to be
only
6,
64 in
it'll
that
be
one.
6 mods with up to 16 youth in each. So it'll be a total of 96.
Okay. Is it all going to be 1 story or 2 story, just the house?
We're going to keep 1 story.
1 story.
There were some discussions because, touring some facilities around the country, some people have these 2 levels for supervision and just access to kids and vice versa. We decided we want 1 level.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Secretary.
I appreciate it. It's always good, again, to come back and see friends and just, again, know that DJJ, we're here to be helpful. And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to my office, and look forward to hopefully seeing many of you at the groundbreaking on the 25th. And I'll work with Chief Hammersley and the team to make sure we get those invites out to everyone, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I know I was done. But can I also introduce, again, we have Chief Hammersley, who is our Chief Probation Officer locally. I also want to thank our major and our team here that works locally with detention. And so anything you need from either one, if you want to go out and see the current detention center, we just met yesterday with the team there going through these same plans. So I think the excitement, is very evident, and many of them are excited about having, again, a great work environment and the things that we can do for our kids. So thank you again, and our team is here to be helpful as well.
Thank you, sir. Interest of time, any other business for the board before public speaking? Okay. Ma'am, do we have anyone listed as public speakers today?
We do not.
All right. I have someone raised their hand in the back.
Mayor, I was looking for the list when I came in the door. I would like to make a couple of comments.
Sir, come forward.
I'm Robert Blump, President, CEO of A. Brown Ministries, Director of the Inspire program. I just want to clarify a couple of points that were shared in the previous presentation by Ms. Goodley. This body probably recalls in 2014 the startup funds that were unanimously provided and awarded to A. Brown Ministries to start the Ready for Work program. It was Ready for Work Hillsborough then. But I just want to clarify that we have never been funded by Operation New Hope. We have always had our own line item in the state budget, and that continues today. So I just want to clarify that piece of the presentation, and also just want to say our service numbers for the last 2 years have been well over 200. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, for clarification, the Public Safety Coordinating Council voted to support 1 year of startup funding for A. Brown Ministries Ready for Work program about 10 years ago. It was about $350,000. And part of that was a agreement with the Florida Department of Corrections where they would subsequently take over annualized funding. So we were kind of the linchpin to get them to pony up those dollars. And they've been contracting with A. Brown Ministries ever since. So.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any other business? Again, congratulations to the new chair and vice chair. Can I get a motion for adjournment? Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. All right, second. Thank you.